What's up, YouTube? It's Dynasty Buffs. Got another one for you. Drake Maye, complete profile. We got film as well as advanced analytics. So, is Drake Maye QB1 in the 2024 NFL Draft? Well, we're going to find out here. So, with that being said, let's get it started.
It's showtime, folks.
All right, what's up, everybody?
All right, y'all. So let's get this bio in. We'll do overview quick. We'll go over his bio, player stats and history, mechanics, pocket awareness, pocket management, the arm strength, out of structure, off-platform throws, the in structure, athleticism, his weaknesses, size, pro comp, and we'll have some conclusion remarks. Okay, let's get to his bio. So Drake Maye plays at North Carolina from the Tar Heels, a 98% prospect coming out of high school per 24/7 Sports. He committed to UNC, and he is a junior. He's been 3 years there, says sophomore here, but he's 3 years at the University of North Carolina, listed at 6'4", 230 pounds, and he's from Charlotte. All right. So a little bit of background information on his rise to stardom. So with Sam Howell leaving for the NFL, Maye and Chris Well battled for the starting quarterback spot heading into the 2022 season. After what was described as a very close position battle, Maye won the job. It was named the starter August 22nd, 2022. And he broke out his first game in Florida against Florida A&M. Completed 29 out of 37 passes at 294 yards and 5 touchdowns. After that, he had a Notre Dame game he went off in. Threw for 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, and another one was Virginia Tech. Threw for 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran for 13 times for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns. So let's take a look at some of the film on those games here. So here we got him against Florida A&M. Here he's showcasing the athleticism. Getting breaking tackles here. Nice speed. Great straight line speed here. So right here, he's this is in 2022. So this is last year. Look at that nice throw, nice touchdown.
Yeah, under pressure.
Yep. That's good. That creativity, moving around the pocket here. Off-platform throw. Nice strike there on the run. Look at that. Boom. All right, and then the next one here. Oh. I guess Notre Dame game. Start that in here. So here he is, Notre Dame. Nice big arm. Deep throw to the wide receiver for an easy touchdown.
Yeah, it was on the money, too.
Yep. Looks good. So those are just games that rose to stardom with those ones. So, yeah, his college career, he redshirted as a freshman. Some awards that he won as a sophomore. ACC Player of the Year, ACC Offensive Player of the Year, ACC Rookie of the Year, First Team All-ACC. And then his junior year, he was a preseason ACC Player of the Year. And after a kind of rocky and bumpy junior year, he's still projected to go top 3 in the NFL draft. So let's take a look at some of his data, some of the analytics. All right, so per PFF, Maye was ranked 7th for PFF non-pressures. He was 9th for turnover-worthy plays. It's kind of high. PFF passing was 9th with 89. Big-time throws, 7%, and then he's ranked 12th. Points earned per play, 15. Average depth of target, 16. Yards per attempt, 21. Fumbles was actually pretty nice with 3. PFF pressures, 26. QB rating was on the lower end, 37. And then on-target percentages, he had some of the worst on-target percentages for the 2024 NFL draft class. So per PFF here, take a look here at his grades. Obviously, last year he was so good. All right, 2022, he was amazing. Arguably the best quarterback in college football last year. This year, PFF gave him a 89.1, still relatively high, I think. Based upon watching all the film that I've watched from him in 2023, I think it might be a little bit lower. But we'll stay tuned to see what's happening here. So we turn to our next slide here. Talking about Drake Maye and what ESPN says for his stats for the year. So he had 3,608 yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 receptions, had a QBR of 78.3. So for the year, he had 63% completion and a rating of 149. So ESPN, says like he had a further down drop off compared to last year. His completion percentage also took a hit. Could be attributed to multiple reasons, right? He had a new offense, or a new OC, a new offense. Didn't have Tez Walker for a good amount of the year because Tez was still dealing with the issues with the NCAA. So it's kind of a mixed bag, definitely, for Drake Maye. Here's some of his rushing stats. Definitely rushing quarterback. I mean, we saw him at 2022 in that film with Florida A&M. He's just running. He's got wheels, man. He's got good wheels. Like to see that, especially for fantasy purposes. I think NFL will really like that, especially in today's NFL, valuing that rushing ability.
Yeah, it's a little surprising, right? Because that first year, if you look at his numbers there, he has 10. He averages, 18-game season. No, they don't have that in college, but you're looking at 10 rushes a game with the number of throws he's putting up as well.
Yeah. All right, so looking at career pressure to sack ratio in college, a lot of NFL scouts and a lot of people in the dynasty space use pressure to sack ratio as a good metric to see if quarterbacks can make the transition to the NFL. So last year, Anthony Richardson had like the highest pressure to sack ratio in last year's draft. So even though he had some issues with accuracy and stuff, he still had a good pocket management, pocket awareness, and was still good in that. So here we have Maye here like slightly below 20%. So on the relatively high end, lower is always better. But I think there's some things that you can say about Maye that I still like, even though he still has a little higher career pressure to sack ratio. I think the film says he does take some sacks that he should be taking, but his offense is just so weird and so RPO heavy that his guys don't really do him justice. He needs help out there. Same with his O-line. They just sometimes stand out there and don't do anything. So I think his pressure to sack ratio is actually better than it is actually listed here on the data. But the data is the data, right? That's what it says. So if we go to our next slide here, some issues, right? So some issues Maye has is he does leave the pocket even though there's no pressure. All right, so leaving the pocket early is never a good thing to do. Like for example, Justin Fields, so he would leave a clean pocket. Kenny Pickett has the same issue even in the NFL. It's never a good thing. You want to see a guy try to manipulate the pocket and actually get the throw off. Here we take a look at career EPA per pass attempt and sack avoidance from quarterback prospects. Here Maye is on a higher EPA per pass, so it's still good for metrics for EPA, but the pressure to sack rate is it's still relatively high. I would like for him this EPA to be a lot higher if his sack rate is like 18%. So here you take a look here at Stroud and like from last year, Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, right? These guys have lower pressure sack ratios and their EPAs are either higher or in that, the top right quadrant. So still good, just some issues to think about. So let's take a look at some of his strengths, right? So things that stood out to me were his ball velocity, arm strength. I think he really can play out of structure. Playing in structure, I think personally he struggles a little bit more in structure as well as out of structure compared to Caleb Williams. But the what everybody's saying right now is Maye is only really good in structure. Everything he does will translate. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think he might have a tougher time in structure in the NFL than compared to playing out of structure.
Well, yeah, if they have him running, 10 times a game in his best season,
yeah,
roughly or more, that's certainly not in structure. I mean, RPO, they do have him doing some planned runs, but that's still quite a bit.
Yeah, so another thing, when the offense says, yes, go through all your full reads, he does, but there are some times where he doesn't. And then the athleticism, I mean, it's not even a question. The kid's super athletic. Okay, so let's look over throwing mechanics and pocket management. And here's what I look for, right? So no heel cooking, pressure on the front foot, rotation on lower body using adductors, ball comes out smoothly. Feet are planted, sets and resets smoothly and timely, ready to throw at all times. Examples you can always look at. Look at Tom Brady's throwing mechanics. Look at Patrick Mahomes' throwing mechanics. Look at those guys. Look at Justin Herbert. He has great throwing mechanics. Those are basically the things that I'm looking at. That's what they do here. So let's take a look at Maye, and let's take a look at his throwing mechanics here on this first slide. So on the first one here, I see good throwing mechanics, right?
Yep.
I look at that. Sets his feet, is scanning, going through each one. I understand he overthrew the ball, but the mechanics are good. The release was nice. The read was good. But then you come look at the next slide, right? Here you're looking at the next slide. Next slide here, right? He's heel clicking here. He's heel clicking. And his base is like pretty narrow. It's just weird. His rotation out is not set completely. So the big issue with Maye is I've seen him have good mechanics, right? You just saw it. But then he'll give you 5 or 6 good throws like that, then give you like 2 that are in the middle, and then a couple more that are like just like, yo, what are you doing? Super head scratchers. Big thing is inconsistency. I see tons of inconsistency in everything that he does. So let's keep going on here. Let's take a look here at arm strength. So arm strength here, his kid's got a rocket arm. I said bullet type throws. He's got soft touch. He's gives his wide receivers a chance. Knows how to lob. Knows how to do bullet passes. Can throw the ball 40 yards. Can do it on the run. Can do it in the pocket. He's got great arm strength. That's for sure, without a doubt. So let's take a look here at this video. It's him against Minnesota. He's scrambling out. Look at that. He's on the 50-yard line, throwing that ball solid 45 plus. Here's another one.
On the move.
Slinging that thing. Look at that throw. So effortless. And like there, those mechanics were good. Those look good. Here's another one. Look how far that throw is, man. In the corner. Awesome stuff. So he's definitely got the arm strength. That's without a doubt. He's got the arm strength. That's good. Super strong plus for him. I don't think he has elite top end arm strength like Herbert, or I know people laugh at me, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had really good arm. I don't think he has Anthony Richardson type arm strength or like Cam Newton where they can chuck the ball 60, 70 yards, which flick of the wrist. I don't think he has that arm strength, but he does have arm strength. It's not weak. All right, so I think this is his underrated trait, and I think as time goes on, as we go through the draft process, I think more people are going to start to notice Maye's ability to create and his out of structure type, backyard football. He's actually very good at it. I think he's one of the underrated traits. I think people might see him actually being better out of structure than he actually is in structure. So just take a look here. So here's him bouncing around, looking around, chucks that ball like nothing with a flag, rolling out to his left. Same side, nice throw with the PI there. Good throw by Maye. There you go. You see it right there, right? The out of structure plays, he can do them. The in structure ones, so it's weird because, yeah, he can run the offense. The offense was RPO, like, there's just so many that it was difficult to find him going through full reads, going through all his progressions versus only being like one or two options. I wanted to see, 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 on a check down. It was just rare. I'm sure because they didn't have the receiver help and depth to do that. But in structure, he certainly has that. But I do have some question marks again as we get through his weaknesses once we get there. But we'll just show you the clip here of him going through the in structure, right? Saw this earlier. Right there, he's going through all his reads. Obviously, saw this clip earlier. I used it. But it's a good example of him scanning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chucks it up. It was the right read there, even though he messed up. All I care about is that he made the read there. That was good. So we talked about this earlier, right? His athleticism. So I think Maye has great straight line speed. He's got creativity inside and outside the pocket. I don't think he has great agility. I think he has good, he could run a good 40 time. He'd be good in track. Or he'd be good in hurdles. But I don't think he'd be good on as a receiver. When I watch Caleb Williams, for example, that guy cuts. He moves like a running back, spins, stuff I haven't seen like that. So, but Maye, I think he has the capability to be a home run threat, right? If he has an opening, he could run and just get a touchdown because I think he's that fast.
Yeah, if they leave him uncovered, he can definitely break free.
So at his size, him being, I think maybe comes at 6'4", 235. I think you get a 9+ RAS score, relative athletic score, per math bomb. For example, Justin Herbert has a high one, Allen has a high one, and then Brock Purdy. He also has a high relative athletic score. Those guys can run 40 times. Okay, we'll take a look here at the explosive rates, right? So quarterback career explosive play rate in college. Maye right there, 13.3, right under Jaden Daniels. All right, and you can see in the next clip here using that explosiveness here. All right, so here, this first one, I really like this one. I think shows his athleticism here. He's running around, right? Look at speed. Even hurdles the guy, right? Hurdles the guy. Moves out to his left, running over. Boom, hurdles the dude. Look at it. He just jumped over a man.
Yeah.
All right, and here's on this next one here. Again, shows a toughness, shows a vision, shows the ability to reach out and extend and get that touchdown. Just really, really nice to see a quarterback be able to, do some goal line work. Goal line work, short yardage attempts are always good to have too in the NFL. I think it's underrated. I mean, obviously we see now dudes like Hurts that do the tush push and stuff, but toughness is definitely a big deal, especially on those short yardages. You got to get those, and he does. All right, so let's talk about the weaknesses now, right? So the biggest thing I saw were just inconsistency. Inconsistency in accuracy, mechanics, reads. He does miss open reads from time to time. He does sail some balls. He'll make a right read, but then sky it, and then he'll get picked off. And that lines up with the data, too. He had some of the biggest big-time throws as well as turnover-worthy plays.
Like Dak Prescott, then?
Yeah, or another guy that we'll talk about later who I think he's more like.
Or in the playoffs, I guess.
They're super super close. We'll get there, but you see it.
Yep.
You see it. He will just chuck it up, and you go, "Oh, dude, that's a pick waiting to happen." And then it's not. And then you're like, "Oh my gosh, how do you do that?" And then he's got a lot of wow plays, but he also has a lot of plays. I go, "I don't know, man."
Is that an overconfidence in his arm, you think?
I don't think it's an overconfidence. I don't know what it is. I think he just likes to play hero ball, maybe. Maybe he thinks he's got to put the team on his back, and he just chucks it and just does too much. I'd have to look into more on the context of stuff, but I looked at their game log. I could be because he felt like he needed to play hero ball, but still, man, you can't be doing that in the NFL. You do that in the NFL, those are picks.
Yep.
Picks on picks on picks. You do not want to have that many picks. Okay, well, let's take enough talking, right? Let's take a look at the film. Let's see here. All right, so here we're looking at these, right? So you can have a high completion, but still mess up here. So on this one, he's going to throw right here, this guy. So you got to make that short pass. You can't let your guy get blown up there. And then here we're going to see this guy come over here on like a seam route here. You got to make those throws. You got to hit those. That's a layup.
Yeah, it needs to be a touchdown. No, I might have thrown that one away.
Look at him again, right? Like,
yeah, it's hard to say.
On the comebacks, hit those. Like some of the short yardage passes, like if he does that, that's a pick six.
Yeah.
Or here, right? Just gotta work on the ball placement. All right, so let's take a look at him. So, notable quarterback, prospects, career, production while under pressure. So, looking at his career under pressure, he was not very good, but he wasn't terrible. So, for jokes, right? You mentioned a guy like Prescott. He's over here on the bottom, or he's on the left side here in the left quadrant. He's also below the line. So the production is definitely low. It's kind of bad being down here, right? But it's not horrible, right? Obviously, we have guys like Prescott and Justin Herbert down here, but we want to see guys, on the top right quadrant or on the right side here more, because we know that while they're under pressure, they can still produce. We know in the NFL, you're going to be under pressure a ton. And you got to make those throws under pressure to be an elite quarterback. You can have a really bad O-line, but still kind of produce. As long as you have decent receivers and decent wide receiver core, you can still produce.
So what if you don't have a line and you don't have receivers?
Well, then you're going to be in QB hell.
Carolina.
Yeah, or it just sucks. Yeah, but we want to know that you can produce when you're pressure, especially in the NFL. All right, let's take a look at size comparison, his archetype, and then we'll talk about his playstyle comps, I think. So Maye is a traditional prototypical height for an NFL quarterback. 6'4", 220 pounds, 225 pounds. He's your pocket passer with scrambling capability. I'm sure that's what a lot of the people in the media are going to say he is. I think he has a prototypical size, but I think he has more athleticism to be actually dual threat. I think he's more of a dual threat than Caleb is, personally. I think Maye is more athletic than Caleb in terms of raw numbers of speed, but Caleb, I think, is better when it comes to that agility, that manipulation, that going up and down and around, running the ball. But when it comes to like a breakaway, major guy that can bust it and break one for you for 20, 30, 40 yards.
So he's more of a Daniel Jones.
Yeah, and I've seen some people say that as well, right? So here's what I've been seeing some people say, and as well as some of the size, right? So some of the size comparisons, the prototypical NFL quarterback. So you take a look at Trevor Lawrence, take a look at Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Eli Manning, Blake Bortles, Daniel Jones, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and kind of Tua. So I wouldn't say Tua was prototypical size, but the way that they're pocket passers with some scrambling capabilities.
Fair enough.
Right. So you can, if you wanted to nitpick on these guys, right? Do you think he's Trevor Lawrence coming out of college? No, I don't. But I see shades. Do I think he's Carson Wentz? No, I don't. I think he's smaller than Carson Wentz. But, hey, the inaccuracy issues are there. Is he Jared Goff? No, I don't think he's Jared Goff. I mean, he's got the size for Jared Goff, but Jared Goff's kind of a statue. Maye's not. Dak Prescott. Prescott is kind of what a lot of people have been saying, right? He's got some mobility and he can throw the ball, but he's got accuracy issues. Eli Manning, right? Eli Manning was a great passer, not so much in terms of athleticism. Blake Bortles, coming out of college, was like so accurate, so athletic, right? So could be Blake Bortles, could be Daniel Jones, could be Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, so on and so forth. So let's talk about the playstyle comps and what I see. So I'm going to settle in, and I said Drake Maye is big Brock Purdy. When I watch Drake Maye play football in college, I see Brock Purdy.
Do you think he's going to be a top 5? Top 6, like Purdy?
I mean, if you want to say he's top 6, top 10 in the NFL.
No, I mean statistically, didn't Brock Purdy make that last year?
But I mean, he's also got really good help too, right? So
yeah, that's it. I was going to say only if he's on the Niners.
So the difference though is
not the Patriots.
What makes Brock Purdy Brock Purdy? Let's talk about it. He's got big play capability, right? He makes big plays, he makes big throws, but he also has some of the highest turnover-worthy plays. Maye's the same type of dude. They are accurate and inaccurate. Like one game, they'll be super efficient. The next game, they'll be trash. Like take Green Bay when Brock Purdy is going against Green Bay. For 3.5 quarters, he played like garbage. It's the lowest EPA out of that group during that playoff week. He was trash. Week after, bounced back a little bit, came back, and then when he played the Lions, he played like garbage for 3.5 quarters again. Then he came back. I kind of see the same thing with Drake Maye. He's got that big capability, and he's got the tools to get better. He can read the defense. He's got he's got the arm strength to make the throws, but hey, man, when you need him the most, I'm not sure he's going to show up. So, with that being said, I think he's Konami code. He's got that dual threat capability. He can throw the ball. I think he's got an elite upside. I think he's got top 15 potential, maybe even top 10 potential if he develops and becomes the guy that I'm sure the NFL wants him to be, like Justin Herbert, and, maybe 4 years.
Do you think he'd be top 15 as a rookie?
Potential. I'm not going to say he's top 15 right off the bat. I don't ever believe rookie quarterbacks are going to be like stellar coming in.
So you're saying top 15 during his career?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
So let's take a look at these guys, right? So here's Justin Herbert, right, in college. So people say, oh, he's Justin Herbert. But look at Justin Herbert there. He's scanning and reading.
Yeah, his footwork's pretty good too.
His footwork is so clean. Herbert coming out of college was a great passer.
An absolute cannon.
Yeah, look at this. Look how clean that is. Spot a dude dot. Just amazing. So good. I don't see that with Drake Maye. I see some of the flashes, but not
consistent.
The pure mechanics and the consistency each time. So let's take a look at our next guy here. This is Brock Purdy. All right, here's Brock Purdy. So we see that, right? Drake Maye moving around and then just chucking it. Oh my goodness, look at that dot. So amazing. Right? I see that. But you watch Brock Purdy in the NFL, right? He'll do some magic, but then he'll do some boneheaded plays and do like bad turnovers. The joke is there's so many DBs that can catch his balls, but they just don't because they don't want to. He's got the highest turnover-worthy plays, but nobody's catching his interceptions. I'm not sure Drake Maye is going to be that lucky, but that's what I see. He's big Brock Purdy. Let's take a look at another one everybody says, right? Daniel Jones. So Daniel Jones, not the greatest passer, but he's got wheels. All right, so here's Daniel Jones. People forget he's a first-round pick too, right? Look at him out of the pocket, slinging that thing. Whoa, look at that Daniel Jones. Look at that throw on the run. Here's another one here. He's backing up. Throw it. Big arm, Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes. Obviously, if you watch Daniel Jones in the NFL, right, everybody knows that one play of him running and he trips himself, but like he was clocked at, like 22 miles per hour. I see that athleticism in Drake Maye. He's got that type of speed. He does. So I think he's going to probably level out around Brock Purdy / Dak Prescott / Tua, or even Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's going to come into the league and be Justin Herbert. I don't see that. He's not as polished. He's rough. He's going to need some work. So some things I worry about. Struggling at the next level to make consistent throws everywhere. Those short yardage throws. Dude, if he doesn't get those fixed, pick sixes. Pick sixes are in his future. Just consistency, short, intermediate passes, and hitting those long balls. Clean up those mechanics and make them consistent. You got it up here. Maye has it up here. He can do this. Just clean up the footwork, clean up the throwing, make those plays. And then injuries, right? I think he's a little bit slender. I think he's a little small. I think he might have to put on a little bit more weight, maybe about 10 to 15 pounds of muscle.
He's still 20, right?
I think he's 21. But maybe 3 to 4 years, I think he'll be maybe 10, 15 pounds heavier. All right, so let's close this out here. Concluding remarks. Drake Maye, couple sentences here. Konami code, great passer, great athleticism. Strengths are that creativity, the arm strength, the size. He can play in structure and he can play out of structure. We'll need time to develop at the next level. I hope he goes to a good spot. Hope he goes to maybe the Bears, maybe the Commanders, maybe New England. I hope he goes to a spot where an OC can help him develop and the quarterback coach can help him develop, because I think he does have the tools to be that next level elite quarterback. He just needs some time and probably needs some work. So with that being said, is Drake Maye your quarterback one?
Do you think he's a big Mac Jones?
No, he's faster than Mac Jones. Mac Jones was a statue.
Yeah, he's got a bigger arm too, I think.
Yep, I would agree.
Chances of him going to New England, you think? Their new coach, Mayo.
I mean, they got to get a new quarterback for sure. I personally hope Maye goes to Atlanta. I think he can be that guy for Atlanta. I think he can put the ball where he needs to go, can put it in his receiver's hands. He could be the Brock Purdy for Atlanta. That's what I would like for him.
Wow.
So, hey, maybe right now, maybe Drake Maye is not my quarterback one. He's a lot of y'all's. I know that. I know I've seen a lot of NFL analysts say that he's quarterback one for them.
You think he'll pick at 8? I mean, he'll fall to the 8th pick?
They could always trade up, right? I think Atlanta, they want to be aggressive now because they're tired of Ritter. I think they can trade up and go get Drake Maye. Would not be surprised to see that happen. All right, any other concluding marks before we close this out here?
No, I think the size is a big issue, but a lot of times people go for the size and it either plays out or doesn't. I mean, that's just one attribute. I think the biggest thing is how well can they read the defenses, right? That's the big issue. I don't think he's going to be a quick slide into the NFL like Stroud. I think he needs a little bit of work and can be very good. He's got potential. He's flashed it. He has some of the skills and the base to work with. But I also think that, he's going to have to go somewhere in a good situation to help him get started, and it'll probably take off more in a longer-term look than, say, a guy like Jason Daniels who might come in and get you a lot more yards or points for fantasy when he's running.
Yeah, Jaden.
First year. I'm sorry, Jaden.
Yeah, yes. I agree.
So anyway, but I like him. I think he's certainly in my draft order for sure up the top.
All right, y'all. So thanks for tuning in. I'm happy to finally get this one out to you. I'll get a Jaden Daniels one to you guys soon. I'll work on that. Also, I'm trying to get into the running back phase of things now, as well as the receivers. And I need to get more into tight end film. But I appreciate you guys. If you're new, give us a subscribe. Hit the subscribe, like our videos. Share it with your friend. Hit the notification bell. That way you're getting informed of all the new content coming out. Get those complete prospect profiles and make sure we hit our rookie drafts. Tell us how we're doing. Let us know in the comments down below. Let us know where you have Drake Maye in your rankings. Where would you draft him? Where do you want him to go in the NFL draft? Tell us some of the things that you've noticed watching Drake Maye and his film. Some of the data. Let us know in the comments. I appreciate you all tuning into our video. That being said, we'll see you in the next one. See ya.